this week's reading, I will be doing 2 stories in one. So here's the babysitter story and the alligator story from the classic book Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. Enjoy the stories. Subscribe, share on social media for more scary stories from Mr. Creepy Wolf. The Babysitter. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. Everybody was sitting on the couch in front of the TV. You had Richard, Brian, Jenny, and the babysitter, Doreen. The telephone rang.
Maybe it's your mother,
said Doreen. She picked up the phone, but before she could say a word, a man laughed hysterically and hung up. Who was it? Asked Richard.
Some nut, said Doreen. What did I miss?
At 9:30, the telephone rang again. Doreen answered it. It was the man who had called before.
I'll be there soon.
He said, laughed, and hung up.
Who was it?
The children asked.
Some crazy person, she said.
About 10 o'clock, the phone rang again. Jenny got to it first.
Hello?
She said. It was the same man.
1 more hour,
he said, and he laughed and hung up. He said,
1 more hour. What did that mean?
asked Jenny.
Don't worry about it, said Doreen. It's somebody fooling around. I'm scared.
About 10:30, the phone rang once more. When Doreen picked it up, the man said,
pretty soon now.
and hung up. Was it that same guy again?
Yes. I'm gonna call the operator and complain.
The operator told her to call back if it happened again, and she would try to trace the call. At 11, the phone rang once again. Doreen answered it.
Very soon now.
The man said, and he hung up. Doreen called the operator. Almost at once, she called back. The person is called from a telephone upstairs, she said. Get the kids and get the hell out of the house now. I'll call the police for you. Just then, a door upstairs opened. A man they had never seen before started down the stairs towards them. As they ran from the house, he was smiling in a very strange way. A few minutes later, the police found him and arrested him. Alligators. A young woman in town married a man from another part of the country. He was a nice fellow, and they got along pretty well together. There was only one problem. Every night he'd go swimming in the river. Sometimes he would be gone all night long, and she would complain about how lonely she was. This couple had 2 young sons. As soon as the boys could walk, their father began to teach them how to swim. And when they got to be old enough, he took them swimming in the river at night. Often, they would stay there all night long, and the young woman would stay home all by herself. After a while, she began to act in a strange way. At least, that is what the neighbors said. She told them that her husband was turning into an alligator, and that he was trying to turn the boys into alligators too. Everybody told her there was nothing wrong with a man taking his son swimming. That was a natural thing to do. And when it came to alligators, there just weren't any nearby. Everybody knew that. Early one morning, the young woman came running into town from the direction of the river. She was soaking wet. She said a big alligator and 2 little alligators had pulled her in and had tried to get her to eat a raw fish. They were her husband and her sons, she said, and they wanted her to live with them, but she had gotten away. Her doctor decided she had lost her mind, and he had put her into the hospital for a while. After that, nobody saw her husband and boys again. They just disappeared. But now and then, a fisherman would tell about seeing alligators in the river at night. Usually, it was 1 big alligator and 2 small ones. But people said they were just making it up. Everybody knows there aren't any alligators around here. Subscribe for more stories.